Hello there, welcome to a very special episode of the Generic Anime Podcast where we have a webtoon author on our episode today. Say hello to Northern Ghost, the author of Streak.
What's up, y'all? I'm the author of Streak. I'm here.
Oh, yo,
Let's
guys,
go.
it's the author of
We,
Street.
we, Yo! Yo, this shit gas, Batman!
It is. It is.
Oh, man.
Fucking hell, speedy audio peak.
What is Streak, though?
Yeah.
Norton, I
the
want to
viewers
start
who
this
don't know.
episode with first of all, of course, asking you how you doing. How you've been doing?
Fucking awesome. Honestly, I'm so excited to be here. I literally told everyone that I was coming on this podcast.
Let's go! We're getting 2 views on this episode!
You're getting 2
I'm
more
gonna- I
views.
am.
Let's go.
I'm gonna plug you guys. I'm gonna plug you guys on my shit. It's gonna be so awesome.
You are basically
Yeah.
the first proper guest. Like we've had other very small.
We've had a
YouTubers.
VTuber, we've had 2 other very small anime YouTubers. We've been trying to get another big anime YouTuber on. And yeah, you're our first like super duper official guest, I guess you could say.
You are actually producing something of value, so you are a first proper
Exactly.
guest.
Also, the first American.
Bunko's gonna sledgehammer us to death for that
Wait,
one.
he's the first
actually is.
American in
Yeah,
the, in
it's
the,
crazy.
In the,
We've
in the
never
Oh
had a
shit, yeah.
What the fuck is a
person.
kilometer? Let's
What the
go.
fuck is a kilometer? Let's go.
We driving the rats out of the road.
How does it feel to be the first ever American on this episode of the podcast?
Special in more ways than one.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I don't
We
know.
are improving USA relations.
But to be
everyone.
honest, are you really from
Hell yeah.
America? I see a
I
Japanese
am.
flag there.
I'm from New England, so I'm the
New
I'm the newer
England?
model of you guys.
Guys,
I'm
yeah.
the
New
newer
England.
model of you guys. Yeah.
Speedy's
I'm in
from
the
upgrade.
northeast.
England 2.0.
Yes.
England 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Good thing all the speedy is English.
Well,
Yeah,
Norton,
I
even though like we just said that you are like the first official guest in this podcast. All the other guests that we had them make their own 3x3 talking about like their shows and stuff like that. And I believe that Speedy asked you to do something like that as well, right?
Yeah. Do you want me to post that in the record chat?
yeah, in the
Yeah,
rec-
yeah.
in the
Because
record
then
chat. And
we
it's still
we
this
can
as
go
guest
through your
episode.
3x3. You can talk about the shows that you enjoy the most, and we can kind of like have a better picture of who is Northern Ghost. You know?
Yeah, and obviously, like, if there's anything that inspired you to specifically write
I
Streak.
mean, reading Streak, I feel like there might be one
Plenty.
inspiration there.
There's
One very
Maybe
big
there is a one
inspiration.
that I know there.
Have you guys ever heard of Toyota Corolla?
My mom drives
Oh yeah,
a
I'm talking to these guys. They were never heard of it.
There
No,
it
no, I
is.
have not.
Sending that through.
Did you see it? Wait, where have you put it?
It's in record chat. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
berserk. Fuck yeah.
Someone needs
Let's
to
see.
like. I don't even know how I'm gonna see this because I'm like
Ooh.
recording it. Oh, I can't.
Okay,
Keep it
okay.
surprise, I guess.
Alright.
I'll throw it in the. So the consumer can see it as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let me
All
give
right,
another one.
definitely
one that
some
I'm
bangers
ready
here.
And all
Yeah,
of
I'm
my
gonna get my
fucking
other
being,
one.
bro.
Okay, should we go from bottom right and up, or do you want to go top? Should we start off with initial D actually?
Before we
I think
start,
actually to build up to you know talk about Streak and everything.
Berserk.
I think it would be better if we start from the bottom and then we go to the top. You know?
Okay,
Yeah,
where's
I-
consumer
I
gone?
know
When I
you-
made this, I ranked them from like the best is like the top left, and it goes best to
Oh,
worst
okay,
like
okay.
this.
So it's
Oh,
gonna be
okay.
perfect. Now.
Fair
It's gonna
enough.
be perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So
So the
I
first
go?
one is Darlie and the Franks, right?
yeah, I remember watching that when I was in like 7th and 8th grade, and I remember it like I don't really I haven't watched it in so long, but I remember watching it. I don't remember what made me cry, but I was crying. I don't know what it was good. The premise is like it's a little confusing. Now that I probably knew what was going on back then, but right now, if I'm trying to think of the plot, I don't remember. I just know there was giant robots fighting like some big
Giant
monster shit
robots.
on the desert, like some.
That's
Wait,
that's
wait,
good enough.
robot.
That's good enough of a
Yeah.
That's
plot.
Gurren
Big
Lagann.
robots.
Yeah,
I would say though, I
How
think
did
you
I
are our
know?
first guest to not have JoJo's on the list.
I haven't watched any. I haven't watched any.
No,
I don't know.
boy. Bro, we need to put you on JoJo because that's the shit, man. That's the shit.
JoJo's is great.
Every time I see a clip, I just have to question like, why is the sky yellow? Why is the sky purple? Why is it green now?
Oh,
What is
that's
going
After a
on?
while,
Why
you
is
just-
everything
Simon is
changing?
unbreakable.
After a while, you
Simon is
just go with the
unbreakable.
flow, man.
Yeah. このチェリーを食べないのか。俺の食えない腹が減ってしょうがないぜ。
Fucking weeps.
What does that mean?
Right, it's weebs. Oh fuck.
Can someone?
Then we
put-
have a bigger one now. We have One Punch Man.
Oh yeah.
Based.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
The
actually going
One
to ask
Punch
about One Punch Man when I read Streak, so that's funny. I had a question about One Punch Man.
Go on then, may as well do it now.
'Cause
I actually haven't. You go.
Sorry,
You go.
go on,
Sorry.
go.
I'm excited.
You
You go.
Me go? Okay.
Consumer
Well, I was
thing.
just
Yeah, yeah.
thinking, like, with your art style and posting on Webtoon, I was gonna ask you, like, do you ever, like, envision yourself as being, like, like, a very similar sort of style of artist?
I actually have never seen the original manga of One Punch Man, but I do remember Speedy talking about it in his streak review, saying like, oh, he started out as this web comic and now it's a big thing. So I'm like, I I already had the sort of drive to just put Streak out there, but
Yeah.
when I heard him say that, I was like, okay, this actually could work. It's not like
Hmm.
some like unachievable thing that I'm just going to just do. But now it gave me some motivation thinking about like, okay, someone did it. Why can't I do
Yeah.
it?
So why not you?
Yeah.
Right?
That's
You're the
the
next
right
up.
mindset.
Next
That's
up.
the right
Fucking we
mindset.
ball.
Yeah, I think
He's on
I
the
think
he's on the
One
grind
Punch
set.
Man-
He's on the grind set.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
One Punch started by first doodling on toilet paper, so you know.
I
Yeah.
started on drawing on lined paper that I took out of my freaking notebook at school. That's what it looked
God
like.
damn.
That's how legends are born.
This is how legends are born.
The humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings to iPads. Whatever they draw on now.
I think we're gonna have
That's
we're
actually
gonna
quite
come back
funny.
to this when we get to the point of talking more to Streak because I have
Yeah.
a lot of questions about like the whole process and everything. But I'm seeing like something like because your list is very how can I say that
Inconsistent.
Exactly.
It's a list.
Yes.
But in a good way. In a good way. Like for example, you go for One Punch Man and now you have Pokemon. You know. And I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
how it's very eclectic. You know. There's a
I
lot
ra-
of.
Yeah, I rated these as like how much I liked them. So the
Mm.
Pokemon Black and White, that was like when that was I think that was my first ever anime I've ever watched, and it was at like I was 8 years old in my parents' living room, and I would be up at like I would for some reason I would wake up randomly at like 2 in the morning. Like on the dot every night. I think that house was haunted. But I would go out into the I would go out into the living room and I'd turn the TV down to like one volume and I'd start watching Pokemon Black and White and fucking just for like
Oh, those are
hours.
good days.
And then I'd wake up later in the morning. I'd fall asleep and wake up, and then I had to go to school and I was tired at school. But dude, Pokemon Black
Who
and White
cares about
just
school
has
anyway?
such good memories. I don't
Exactly,
even
bro.
remember what the
Priorities.
arcs were. I have really good memories. The character designs are really cool though. I
Yeah.
think those are the best character designs in all the Pokemon.
I agree. I
anime.
like Diamond and Pearl was my first one. So good.
I will confess I had to go and Google when Black and White came out.
Like 2010 maybe.
The 2010 apparently.
It's
The
one
only
of the most
Pokemon I've ever watched was Indigo League.
Oh, Kazuma, your first one was what?
Diamond and Pearl. So I think that was probably around 08 or something.
Was that the one
I had
with
the biggest
with
crush
Meg
on.
in the Hoenn
No, it was
region?
the one after that, Dawn, like the blue hair.
Oh,
biggest
oh
crush
yeah.
on her.
Well,
yeah.
that's the one when I stopped watching Pokemon. I watched the. I can't remember, it's the third girl that I stopped at because it was Misty was first and they was
that'll
whatever
be
the fuck her
May then.
face was.
Or maybe it's
Yeah.
the second one.
The only reason why I ever
Because
watched Pokemon
I
was to
still
see all the
remember when
changes,
Pokemon first
lines.
aired in September of 1998.
Old head,
I
old head.
think
Oh,
I
hey.
watched a few episodes of
You're
the original.
old.
Actually,
You're
here it came out.
old.
I don't know when the original actually aired in Japan, but here
Ah,
it came
fuck
out
my
when
knee.
it did.
Could someone actually send
Okay.
me the list as well on like I don't know, like DM? Or
It's in the.
I'll send it
it's
to you
in-
directly, consumer.
yeah. Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, because now we have I think okay this can be considered a controversial one, especially depending on who you ask on this podcast.
This is
But the
I'm
next
ready
one
to defend this.
He's a narrator
so
or
ready.
something.
My Hero Academia.
is
Academia.
My Hero Academia. Okay,
It's
Speedy has
so
bad memories
goated.
of My Hero
It's so
fans.
good. It is
Yeah.
so
I
good.
agree. I
You
agree.
cannot tell me otherwise.
So-
There are
sorry,
there
I
are
think-
moments where I'm looking at the screen like,
Wait, hold on. Are you
What?
anime watcher or a manga reader of My Hero?
Watcher.
Okay.
I haven't read
Because
the manga.
I have this thing about My Hero that I think the manga is so much better than the anime. Like, I get why people like the anime. I get, but if you see like some of the artwork, like in the manga,
It's really
it's,
good, isn't it?
it's really good. Like, I think My Hero is a very good anime. Even though like people clown on it and whatever.
And it does
I thi-
deserve some clowning, yes.
Why
Yeah,
is the weather reporter such a
Yeah.
baddie though?
But
I feel like a
think
lot of
that
the My Hero
most of the
clowning is because of the
comes from the
fans, though.
community, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it's not because of the show.
Yes.
Like
And
maybe
some
you can
few
have someone
fans.
It's the
criticize
gooners. It's the
Deku.
gooners.
Yeah,
Nah,
exactly.
it's all
but
the
you have like
girls,
those.
bro. It's
Wasn't
like the
guys?
pregnant
Wasn't a zoo
Bakugos,
shut
bro.
down due to an
Yeah.
MHA fan trying to bang a frog?
No, that's
Yeah, what the
that's
fuck? How do you do that?
no,
Why?
that was a troll online, but it kind of took off, and I think the worst
Hey,
part
to be
about
fair,
that is
I
that
wouldn't be
people-
surprised if that happened. in
Yeah,
real life. I
that's
wouldn't.
that's the worst part. Like people think that it could actually happen because it's a My Hero fan.
Sounds
And
reasonable.
it sucks because I can't say that I'm an MHA fan in public. I
Yeah.
can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
The fights are solid. The character development
Yeah.
is fucking goated. I just can't stand the people that actually
Mm.
I used to
Yeah.
know
Would
a My Hero Academia
you
Bakugo X Deku
already-
Guna.
It's get away from me.
No, he's
No, then you
turned
died a
into
bit.
a robot. Oh,
No.
No,
my
robot,
God.
no. Now he's got the Wi-Fi issues.
Oh,
It's
love
that North American
me-
connection, baby.
out of the-
No.
oh,
Canada shut off their internet
I
connection.
love-
We can't hear. you.
Hello.
Is that-
He's back.
Oh
he's
my
back.
god, that was hilarious.
Okay. Back on
Let's
track.
move on to Doctor Stone.
The
Let's
one
move on to
thing I
Dr.
do-
Stone
No, wait,
before-
hold on.
Yeah.
I still want to
Hold
hear
on,
about
hold
My
on.
Hero.
One more. The one thing I love about the My Hero, like the opposing side of My Hero, where everyone makes fun of it, the memes, bro. The one TikTok audio, it's like, I had to contain my laughter when I was at work because it would just be. Have you guys heard the one that goes like, kissing me so suddenly?
yeah.
Like, to be fair, to My Hero, it is not the only shonen that has very questionable fans.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of shonen fan
I've
bases
met.
can be-
I used to know a Bakugo X Deku drawer person a bit too personally back in my before my
Stop
anime
there.
days.
Daddy isn't done speaking.
Have you guys seen the video of the girl that thinks that she's pregnant with
Oh yeah.
So the
yeah.
robot son.
Oh my gosh! Oh, no.
This is my son, and that's the father. Then it shows Todoroki from
Yeah.
It's like, fuck the cardboard cutout.
yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, sure.
There's this Instagram account which-
uh,
There's this Instagram account which I don't remember the name of it. My cousin showed it to me. They just take edgy pictures of MHA characters and put the most cringe like story next to it. Like, be me getting bullied, and it's
I mean, that's what
yeah.
fucking Peaky Blinders fans do, and somehow think that it's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's move to Doctor Stone,
Yeah.
which is an
Doctor-
absolutely goated show.
Dr. Stone is fucking awesome. I fucking love Dr. Stone. I haven't watched like the newer episodes, but when like the first and second season came out, I binged that shit for hours. It was
it's
so
so
it was so interesting learning how like different shit was actually made with like materials from the earth. It's like people are always like, how did we get from this? And it's like a wild, like a wilderness like shot, and then they say like, how do we get from this to Bluetooth? And it's like Dr. Stone, they're gonna find an episode to put Bluetooth in. They're gonna build Bluetooth out of like sticks and
Yeah,
stone, and, like,
they probably will.
ore and shit.
I
It's
haven't
so
seen
I
the
think,
latest
I
season
think
as
that
well.
that's kind of like the very good thing about like the thing that intrigues most fan of Doctor Stone. Like you
Yeah.
just see some like I've never seen Doctor Stone in my life, but I've seen some
really good.
clips of like how they made like some shit like, oh, this is how we're gonna make glasses. We're gonna put
Dude,
this, and this.
They
And
built a
that,
tank. They built a tank.
Yeah, they built a
Right
tank.
now, I'm watching this anime.
They built a tank.
They
It's fucking awesome.
it's all like the only problem I have with Doctor Stone, it starts super sciencey, and the further you go on, then they kind of just like skip some of the science part and just like
Oh.
how you make the end
Yeah.
product. But like early
like-
on, it's everything.
Yeah, I dude, that's what I love about it. They freaking go in depth. It's like, oh yeah, this
Yeah.
bat this'll save people. This is awesome.
What?
I'm
Yeah,
like,
we
how the fuck
we
is
will
that
make
happening?
hydrochloric acid from it.
And then they explain it down to the molecular level. I'm not like a
Yeah.
science guy, but I just like, oh, that was just so cool. Just they straight up
we
made
need
a
we need to
I
start
can
a petition
imagine.
to make schools to make teachers make kids watch Doctor Stone in school.
Oh,
I'm
some actually do
genuinely
already.
educational.
sure.
It's genuinely educational. It's fucking awesome.
I
I
have a
actually know
friend who
somebody
did
who's like a
his-
really big fan of Doctor Stone, and they're doing like some sort of science. I think they're doing
Yeah.
chemical engineering in at university. I did said Doctor Stone like years ago or whenever it came out, and yeah,
Speedy
now
turned
they're there.
into
I have a
robot
friend
for
who
half a
did
second.
he did his dissertation on like this role-playing school that's in Denmark somewhere, and like one of the things was that in chemistry they would sometimes just watch Doctor Stone.
And history.
I
used to
mean,
watch
it's a
horrible
very
history.
out there school, obviously, but
Oh, Horrible History was goated.
Horrible stories.
I do
Only
also
me and
like I do
Speedy
get
would
the
get
whole
that.
thing with Doctor Stone, like why they sort of start dropping some of the like early chemical processes, because obviously it's only so interesting to make how you make like there's what 13 different general acids that people use. It would get a bit boring to go through all of them,
Yeah.
but I do still it doesn't really drop in quality, but I still like the first seasons more because of the whole like everything's explained.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think when it came out, it was a very like fresh new thing, you know. Like you
Oh
don't-
yeah, absolutely.
like sometimes you have animes that kind of tries to do the whole I'm not gonna explain this thing for you, but I don't think that there are that many where I think it's done very good. Like maybe Bakuman
Yeah.
is one that
Yeah, yeah.
I
I'm actually gonna
I think
use
that's
that
the thing,
for
They
this
did
thumbnail.
so well.
yeah. Oh,
We
that
spoke
actually
to
a
a
good
real
idea.
life webtoon artist, the Batman guy.
Exactly. For real.
What's the next
Hi-
one?
Norton,
I
Norton,
think
are you
nothing
there?
died.
Oh no,
Oh,
bro!
no.
How did he freeze and we didn't even notice?
Yeah.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, he's back.
Oh,
He's
there
back.
you
He's
go.
back.
No, hello. Hello, hello.
Okay,
We
okay.
do
We are all
part
very
two to this
professional.
At some point.
Bro.
What's the
When we
next
get an
one?
actual studio, we'll get him out here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're gonna redo the whole podcast like a
Yeah,
No,
every
when-
single
when-
episode's
when-
redone.
Fly me out. Fly me
If
out.
we ever,
But
if
if,
we
we,
ever
if, we
get a
ever do
studio,
a,
this-
if we ever do a reboot of the podcast, I want to play consumer. Actually, I want to play.
Hey! What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, buddy?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean
I
by
want to
that?
play the cool character, okay? For once, I want to.
What do you mean by that, bro? What do you
Look,
mean
you
by
are
that?
cool, Mr. Anime.
Huh?
Anime,
not
you're
as cool as
Italian.
consumer.
Gotta
but
be all
it's not as
We
personality.
cool
stopped
as-
doing that about
You're not
50 years
cosplay.
ago, anime. We stopped doing that 50 years ago. Come on.
Anime,
my mic stand broke.
Not
anime,
like
you're
that, man.
Italian. Anime, you're literally Italian. You're
Hold on.
automatically
Hear
cool.
hear my idea, okay? We cast Speedy as cheese. Cheese
God.
becomes.
Hey, I'm the white guy now. Let's go.
Just dips
I
us up
play
into a vat of
consumer,
acid.
and
to
consumer
bleach his
plays me,
skin.
okay? And then we keep
Yep.
like the whole dynamic of the podcast, but it's just I will make. Have you guys are you guys following Penguin Z0 by any chance?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know how he did like the whole season 2? There was like one episode and then it just come back to the other. I don't know if you guys have seen the video. That he hired
I
like
did.
T-Pain to play himself for like one of his videos.
Oh yeah.
And then he just came back to like, and he said like, "Oh, this season 2 unfortunately was not good." And then we came back to the original thing, you know?
The ratings dropped, guys. Sorry, we have to go back.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, so yeah, but yeah, it's going back to the list. Now we're getting close to like maybe some inspiration for Streak, you know, with
Yeah,
MF
MF
Ghost.
Ghost.
Yeah, MF Ghost. That's lower. That is. I don't like MF Ghost very much.
Why is it-
Racing. It has its moments. It has its moments. I like when they bring back the old characters and the old voice actors for the dub. Dude, the old voice acting dubs, dude, they actually seemed like they wanted to be there, and they weren't like talking like they were dubbing an anime. They were talking like
Yeah.
real people. Because
Yeah.
like one of my main problems with modern anime is they talk like this. they talk like this, and that's like
yeah.
that's where that
Yeah.
stereotype comes up. Initial D did so well not doing that. Like they actually had people say sentences all in
Mhm.
one take. By the way, that's
Mhm.
another thing. MF Ghost, I can tell where they splice the different takes together. It's just
Yeah,
it feels cheap.
I think
I
it's
see.
like the big thing with modern English voice acting is because like it was always the big complaint that Japanese voice acting has so much more emotion in it, and then they like started to force it into especially American dubs, and
Yeah.
it just
It's
doesn't
like,
work.
dude, if you're gonna make the characters sound, if you're gonna make American voice actors and like English speaking voice actors, make them sound like they're just speaking normally. Because when you
Yeah,
try and make Americans sound like they're speaking Japanese but speaking English at the same time, it feels weird. It just feels
yeah,
weird.
They should
If you
also just
have people
hire
talking,
video
if you have
game
people like
voice
Initial
actors.
D like talking like explaining different things just like in their normal voice, it's like
yeah,
that's I can get behind that. I can see someone actually saying that sentence in real life.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's
To be fair, like I
I will
think.
skip a
Oh, sorry. You go first,
Uh,
please.
I'll skip a bit ahead. We'll get back to this later, but the Konosuba dub is an excellent example of a really good English dub.
Yes, I love that. I love that shit. Absolutely.
Like, I just wanted to add that, like, in the past few years, we like, I would say like until maybe 5 years ago, like it was a pretty common to believe like, oh, dubbed anime is all terrible, because the dubs are not that good.
Yeah, they're
But
trying.
I think I would say that like maybe from 2020 to 23, like we started getting like some very good voice acting like jobs in anime,
Yeah,
like to the point where it doesn't sound like more, oh my god, is this like the voice that I need to talk about for this show? Like it's like Northern said, it sounds like an
yeah,
American is talking,
yeah.
like
It's
It's
still a bit hit and miss. Like the Sakamoto Days dub is absolutely atrocious, and the my dear friend Nokotan original, like the American dub, makes my ears bleed. But it is like as a general
Was it,
rule
was
of
it really
thumb,
that
yeah,
bad?
it is horrible.
oh,
Oh,
it looks like I'm dreaming, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Speedy is
Like
the
you're
ghost from
looking
your
at it like
dreams.
this.
It looks like I have a hangover.
yeah. Michael! Michael! Get me out of here, Michael!
Don't leave me here.
I see you guys. It
Well,
doesn't work.
since
Don't leave me here.
she's mentioned Konosuba, I think it's only nice to go talk about Konosuba now. Since is that like
Ooh.
the third one
Ooh,
on your list?
Konosuba.
Yeah, Konosuba is so funny, dude. They actively make fun of like the dub
Bros
stereotypes.
would
Oh,
never be in
and
the
Speed's gone.
allegations.
But they
Speedy's gone.
they they make fun of different like tropes and shit. And I remember you guys
Yeah.
talking about this in one of your earlier episodes.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Konosuba is like the stereotype breaker of isekai. I
yeah.
think.
it's an
like
irony show. It's an irony show. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much.
The whole point of Konosuba is to like
Konosuba.
subvert your preconceived notions of what
No,
it should
no.
be.
Did you take that out of your jar, bud?
No,
Speedy,
it
don't-
was on my shelf. It's different. It
Oh
was on
my
my shelf, okay?
Oh yeah, the other
one's
one's the other one's off camera.
Speedy, you can't do an
Oh, the
upskirt
arm's
shot. That
fallen
will
off
get us
again.
banned.
The arm just fell off.
But since we're on the topic, Norton, because that's something that I ask every guest that we have here. Like, are you pro or against isekais?
They are if they're done well enough. Like if they have an interesting premise, if they're just going off base like premise alone, then it has to be really really good for me to like it. Because I've seen so many isekais because it's just like it just got boring.
Yeah.
And it was just the same thing, like, oh, the dude dies, and then they come back, and then there's in this fantasy world, and it's like, okay, I've seen this before, and then they have this overarching thing that they have to go and do, but the episodes are based on what they do to get to that. It's
Yeah.
just I know what's coming.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
it's a
I
very
totally get
saturated
you.
and
genre.
Yeah.
knowing what's coming is okay if you make it interesting on how it's done. Like
Yeah.
Mm.
with Initial D,
Thi-
you know what's coming.
This
but you
makes me think that maybe this could be something that's gonna happen in Streak, but we're gonna talk about that more later. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, obviously with like the whole knowing what's coming, it's either like you need to do it really well if the story is obvious, but that can still be an excellent story, like 99% of all isekai.
Yes.
Like take One Piece for example. It's an incredible show, but it's not really very surprising anywhere. And then you have like I've been recently binge watching all of Haikyuu, and like Haikyuu does the whole you don't know what's going to happen really well.
Hmm.
Yeah, like obviously it's
Yep.
a if you are familiar with Haikyuu, it's a volleyball game of like a volleyball
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes
I
like
feel like
when I'm going into like a show, I have this predetermined thing where it's like, okay, the main character's gonna might win this, and then if they lose, that's when it puts that idea in my head, like, oh,
yeah,
anything could happen, and that's what
yeah,
builds
Yeah.
tension. But if you start out with the main character winning all the time, then you're like, okay, he's gonna win, but how is he gonna do it? That's
Mm.
that's
yeah,
that's also what makes it interesting. If you
Shit.
if you know the character's gonna win, and then you don't make it
Exactly.
interesting, like, oh, he just won by
yeah,
like cutting off like the head or something. Because that's what also is putting me off of like Demon Slayer. Because I feel like that I haven't watched it, but I feel like that's just what happens. It's like, oh, the main
yeah,
Made
character's just
that
gonna kill
show,
this
bro.
demon.
Just know
yeah.
that he's gonna win. So
Yeah, the first two
Yeah,
seasons of
they
Demon
do it.
Slayer are good, but because the first two seasons are like the whole growth and Tanjiro getting stronger, and it's like so much hype, and then
yeah,
it's just like, oh yeah, they're just gonna win all the time now. Cool,
Yeah,
great.
yeah. That's what I don't like about Initial D after third stage. Because
Mm.
you always know he's gonna win because it's an expeditionary. If he loses, then they gotta freaking keep trying, and then the episode goes on too long, and you know the studio isn't gonna like that, so they're not gonna do it. So they're just gonna
yeah,
make him win. So it's
Yeah,
that's why I
mhm,
don't like fourth stage through
I feel
final.
like that's a good thing with Haikyuu because like it has the whole thing. Like there are some of the games in it take like five, 6 episodes because they just went like we will give you all the money, just make it good. And that's kind of a big problem with a lot of this kind of anime that they just have you have the one episode you have to do, and you just can't like. It's so hard to build that story in the time.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Next
Alright.
up, the
Next
one
up,
which I think stands out
The
the most
absolute
from the
goat.
rest of the
Exactly.
list.
The absolute
What's the
goat.
next one?
The absolute
Berserk.
Berserk.
Berserk is I watched. So originally my girlfriend got me into it, and at first I wasn't really into fighting animes in general, but I wasn't really particularly interested in medieval stuff.
Yeah.
But as soon like she showed me the Golden Age anime, because at that point I haven't read
So
any
good.
like manga
So
like
good.
at all. So I was put off of reading the manga for a while, so I just decided, okay, I'm just gonna watch the Golden Age, see how it goes. Animation. Oof.
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
The the story of it really got me into it because I originally watched Golden Age, and then I went back and watched the '90s one, and the
Oh.
story seemed interesting, so I was like, I might give this a shot. Then recently, I actually did start getting in depth of the manga, and dude, it's so
Yeah.
good. It's
So
so
Mm.
good, man.
good.
So
The
good.
manga's so good,
It's so
dude. Oh
good.
my
It is.
god,
It is.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so
I
good.
totally get your approach of like first watching the anime because, like, let's face it, anime is so much more approachable than
It's
manga
easier.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it just you just get in like you can very quickly determine if you like it. There's no money put into it, and it's so much easier to consume a video medium than it is a book or
Yes.
a manga.
Yeah, but like it was also the pressure of like my girlfriend saying like, dude, the manga's better, the manga's better, the manga's better, read the
Yeah.
manga.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right, fine, I'll read the manga. And then as soon as I read the manga, I'm like, this shit's goated. This is
That
the
that
goated.
Berserk
that was
experience.
exactly my reaction
That was
when I
literally my
started reading
reaction as
Berserk.
well. It's so good.
It's so good. But
Are
yeah.
you more of a manga reader now or a anime guy?
Not really. I think I want to get more into it because I have on my
That's
on Google I keep tabs open so I can come back to shit, and I have the Initial D manga open because I wanna see what it looked like when it first came out. So, but yeah,
Damn. That
the
is
Hey,
the
interesting.
Berserk
speaking
is
of
pretty
the
much.
initial D manga,
Mhm.
check it out. I got here.
Oh,
Oh,
you actually have it.
that's he, dude.
Yeah.
My high school
What?
had the Kyoichi on Iroha race with Takumi.
Really? God
I just
damn.
I looked up. I was like, and that's also the chapter where they introduced like the person that wrote Takumi the note about Natsuki, and I was reading it. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Who is this? Because I haven't read the manga at that point. So I was just like, oh, this is just a random person that sent Takumi the note. That's cool. Because at that point I watched the whole anime, so
Oh boy.
yeah,
Nice.
it was cool.
Pretty
And
cool.
well, I think that this leads us to the last one in your list. which
Yeah.
is Initial D.
Yeah, my life,
Yeah,
my life,
finally.
dude. I look at I freaking.
Check these out. These
I
back.
got
Oh, can you
my
even see these?
drawings
Uh,
out back. These ones out here.
Ooh.
I freaking went crazy. I can't really. I'll probably send
Okay.
pictures later,
Bro
but
is an Initial D enjoyer.
Would you say that
yes.
Initial D was your biggest inspiration to write Streak?
Wait, we're not in our street phase
Wait,
yet.
hold on.
I
Hold on,
know,
hold
Oh
on.
no,
but
the
No, hold on.
camera's there.
Norton, he's frozen. He's frozen. You were saying your love for Initial D,
Initial
right?
D.
Yes. It's actually it's probably the one thing that like well the first like from the start from my childhood I was always interested in cars. Like
Same.
it wasn't really like a family thing either. I just really liked the idea of going fast. So when I first was like I was just going
Super.
crazy with Hot Wheels and stuff. I
I
thought they
just
looked
sorry, it
cool.
just sounded so like
And then
autistic, bro.
I
I just wanted to go fast.
I've not been tested. I don't know, but
Bro, check this shit out. We got the FCRX7.
that's fire. My roommate has one. That's awesome.
Really?
Or
And then
yeah, but I was when I was like 7 years old. What got me really into cars and racing was Speed Racer 2008. Oh, that's got to be a
banger
tangent
movie.
all on its own. That's got to be a tangent all on its own. But um, after I was watching Speed Racer, I really got into cars. I really wanted to figure out like, okay, how do I become a race car driver? And I was starting to look into like motorsport streaming and stuff, watching races and stuff. And then I was starting to hear the deja vu meme, and I kept hearing
Oh
it
yeah.
over and
Deja
over
vu.
again. Yeah, and I was like,
Was
I
that
wonder
around
where.
2017 as well?
I think so.
Oh,
And
same
then
time as me then.
I I was I was sitting in my bed one day. I was like, I wonder where that song's from. So I look up the song, and then I see the Takahashi brothers that in the video like background, the backdrop of the song in the YouTube video, and I was like, Takahashi brothers, what does that mean? So I Google Takahashi brothers. Takahashi brothers from Initial D. I'm like, what's Initial D? So I freaking look up Initial D and I start watching it. I'm like, these visuals suck balls. But I kept watching it. But I kept watching it because I was like, oh, this is cool, like kind of like street racing sort of thing in the woods. This is cool. So I kept watching it, and eventually I was like, this is probably the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Bro,
Fucking so
literally
good.
exactly the same reaction, man.
So good.
Greatest thing ever.
My first watch through, it wasn't very emotional, but I after I finished the last season, I was like, damn, that was crazy. I'm gonna go back to the start and see if like anything was different because I like doing that, just going back and rewatching stuff to catch different like
Catch all the Easter eggs and stuff like that.
yeah. So I rewatched it, and wow, the second watch was just amazing. I every single race had its punch still. I knew what was gonna happen, but every time like Takumi would do something, it'd be like fucking God's gift to the road. Every time I would see that, and like the really impactful points in the story got to me a lot more in the second watch because like Takumi's engine blowing up, bawling my eyes out. Freaking what was it? The Takumi losing against or oh,
Team Monster.
losing against uh Purple Shadow in fourth stage at the end of fourth stage, the S2000 when he
Oh yeah.
Joshima, yeah, he didn't lose. He didn't lose.
Yeah, he fucking threw up all over the place, and then
Yeah,
that counted as a win.
people keep saying I will argue plot armor. I will argue against
Same.
it. I will argue against it. There's always an explanation.
It's
Bro.
such a BS win.
Yes, well, with Joshima, it was a battle of endurance. Takumi won because of his age, not because of his skill, but of his age. That's not plot armor. That's just he was the younger.
Hmm.
That is what it is. Give me another example of like plot armor initially. I'll write it off.
Oh god. Literally any of the wins in fifth stage.
Mm, the let's do the Miata with the spoiler, the brown one.
Oh
the
yeah, the
bronze one.
Miata with the spoiler when he
Yep.
flips.
Yep. No, that was the one with the spoiler where he hits the sign and then the spoiler gets detached and he spins out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the Mark II. What about the NSX that spins out?
The NSX basically he was just going crazy.
Yeah.
and he lost grip coming out of the turn. I've done that. I've done that so many
What
times in
about
Halo.
what about the? I don't remember the name of the team now, but it's the ones that kept spilling oil on the road in fourth stage, who then tried to call up the gangsters, the
Yup,
Bosuzuka gang.
yep. That seems I can I like what part of that seems like plot armor to you?
I think it's just when Keisuke he nearly spins out, but he still manages to recover it despite having oil on his tire, and also all the amount of times that they tried to
Where
sabotage
he
the race
first
and yet still win.
where he first crashes FD?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
And uses
yeah,
Kyoko's
he
one.
crashed it. Oh, and Kyoko's. I think he was just locked in.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Real shit.
Okay.
Because he said
Um,
Ryosuke could have done it, and then Ryosuke's constantly saying Keisuke is better than me. So when Keisuke goes in with a new mindset, because when he first crashed with the oil spill, he was thinking like, oh, I'm hot shit. I'm gonna fucking beat these guys like I've beat all these other dudes in the past races. So and then he got the oil spill and he didn't know what to do. Now he's like he got humbled, so now he's in the race. He's thinking about shit more. He breezes through that oil spill now. He's freaking goated.
well, with hearing you guys saying all of that, the only thing that came into my mind is that I should have watched the initial D before doing this episode.
It's
You haven't watched
mandatory,
anime.
mandatory reading.
Anime,
never watched it?
I've
you
never
watched
seen
MF
it.
Ghost, right? For the
Yeah, I did watch MF Ghost, but I don't. I think that it wouldn't be the same like making like putting initial D and MF Ghost to the same level. From what I
Yeah.
understand, the community would
Yeah,
probably
for reference,
kill me.
Speedy made anime to watch MF Ghost.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've only watched MF Ghost, so unfortunately, my knowledge of the initial D universe isn't as profound as it could have been. But
To be honest,
Do it,
still
bro.
the
nice
initial the
You gotta
universe is
do it.
more of just like real life Japan in the
I'm
90s.
I'm gonna I'm definitely gonna have to check it out now because I'm hearing
It's
like
so
all these
good.
plot twists like oh some guys like put oil here the motor broke or this
Dude.
here this that like I'm noticing a lot of like plot twists and maybe that's like what makes it so interesting to
Yeah.
how because
Mhm.
I was thinking which is something that I want to use to kind of jump to talk about streak is like how do you make a story about something so kind of simple as cars, it's going fast, so interesting. And I think that like a reading streak, I think that you're doing it very good, man. Like
Hit
I
that, bro.
remember like I think it was around that chapter 10 or something like that
Oh, with the
that
race, the black.
that I remember like I was like okay it's starting to get my attention now. I'm actually invested now. So do
Yeah,
you
the
wanna before like we actually go in detail into it? Do you wanna kind of like introduce to the people like what is streak for you?
mm, okay. So, Streak is basically the premise what like how it came to be was back in my junior year of high school. I had a 2011 Toyota Avalon, same color, everything, and I was going through I got my license but previously I didn't have my license, so I really wanted to get into driving and I wanted to race and I wanted to do all this stuff because this was after I found out about Initial D. So I was like, dude, I'm gonna freaking do all this.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So
Mm.
I wanted to go and do all that, but I didn't have some like JDM car. I didn't have none of that. I had a giant ass fucking 3,500 pound sedan from 2011, and
For
I was
reference,
like,
these
fuck
guys
it,
don't
we
know what
ball,
JDM
fuck it,
means.
we
Yeah.
ball, and I started going out and doing it, and then at the same time I had some life shit going on at school, and like my high school crush, it was just like that whole thing was building up in me, and I was like and after like towards the end of it, like shit happened, and it really fucked me up. And I was like, okay, well, how am I gonna bounce back from this? I got fucking I got some people around me, hype me up, and then I eventually get back into it. Everything makes up. It's all good. But then after that, I was thinking like back like through those months. I was like, that could straight up be like an action drama if that was a
Oh,
show, dude. That would have been
nice.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Nice.
I was thinking like, oh, that would have been fucking awesome.
Mm.
So,
So awesome.
So basically, like I was
You were
thinking
saying
back,
that.
like okay, yeah, this whole thing could be actually goaded if it was like a show. That would have been crazy. I wish man, I wish someone would make something like this.
Mm. No, I
I could
found it
do
really
that.
interesting you
So,
said that.
like, yeah, already I was like at that point. Previous years, I've already been drawing cars. I've already been like trying my hand at the initial D style and stuff. So I was like, what if I make that shit and I make my own little like side initial D sort of thing? So
Mhm.
I started out just on line paper, freaking going crazy. I was like, all right, I gotta make like I want to follow the same format as initial D. Like that starts out with a high intensity like sort of sequence with like the
Oh, that's
car like the
hard.
Avalon going crazy on my road, and then it doesn't really I want to build up to the point where it's like it's Aiden, and you just fuck, I lost my train of thought, but I just started doing that, and I started putting my friends in there that I knew back then and I still know now, um and I started putting them in there, started putting like different points that I went to an automotive class, um and I was working on engines in there, getting to know stuff. Back then I didn't know, I had barely any knowledge on engines at all. I didn't even know how to change the oil on my car. So that would be I didn't want to work on them. I just wanted to drive them. I wanted to be just want to
Mm.
be
Okay.
fast.
And
Um
so I guess you can say that in a certain way, Streak is almost like an autobiographic story, like at
yeah.
least inspired by certain events in your life,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
I guess like it can. I was like I was thinking about like how you were talking about like, oh, I had like this old like big car, and then like one of the things that the main character in your story does not like is like big cars, you know. So I think that that's like a funny
Yeah.
little thing.
Mhm. And
And
yeah,
oh, sorry,
when
sorry.
I no 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 when I do the when I do like the driver pages and stuff,
Mhm.
that one was for Ryan, which he's actually my roommate right now. The 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 actual character. He used to drive a Versa, and it ended up the brake lines ended up blowing up around like 2023,
Oh,
and
Ooh,
um he wasn't driving. They just corroded in his driveway, and they just realized,
nice.
oh, we don't have any brakes.
Yeah,
So
it's not funny if they go while they're driving.
Yeah.
I've had that
like
yeah.
experience.
a good example of like the actual stuff that happened in the story was when Ryan freaking understeered onto the embankment and popped
Yeah,
his
yeah,
bead off
yeah.
his tire.
Yeah.
That actually happened. I have a video of me outside the car. It's like recording the tire off of the bead, and I pan and I see the giant like dirt like trail in the side. It was so funny that I pan and there's the Versa. But yeah, and it's just I mix like different events that actually happened with events that I
Mm.
think would make the story better.
Yeah,
Cause
yeah.
Are you gonna put the
Yeah.
Nissan Altima Burger scene in there?
yes, that was the Versa.
Yes.
That was the Versa. Yeah, if you, I don't know if you guys, the rest of you guys have been on my Twitter, but I posted a video from 2021 where me, um, one of the characters, Wills, and Ryan's stepbrother, Aiden, it was another Aiden. Um, we we went to Ryan's job at McDonald's. We picked up a burger and slapped it on the hood of his car and left it there in the heat.
Gotta love
Oh,
that
fuck.
trolling.
Hmm.
We love a little bit
Uh,
of trolling.
Yes, we do
Norton,
a little
one
troll.
thing. I remember like seeing that the first chapter of Streak was uploaded in 2022. Is that right?
Yeah,
So the story, like you've been kind of like working on and off on it, like for the past 3 years almost, pretty much.
yeah. I the when I first started, it was basically just a thing like between me and my friends. Like we would be like,
Hmm.
"Oh, how's it? Oh, it's like, what are you working on? Oh, you're at that part. Cool. All right." And then it would just remain in my little notebook that I have here.
Yeah.
At this point, it's freaking,
Oh, we're
it's
about to
thick
get
now.
hit with the
That's
leaks,
all the
guys.
pages.
Oh.
That's
Damn.
all
Wow.
of the pages right there.
Pod
And
exclusive here,
I got
guys.
all the original. I got all the original like shit right here. Like
The original
Oh, that is so
panels.
cool.
Whoa.
got
Ooh,
the
I need to zoom
initial
in
D
on
ones
this.
here. And I yeah, I got some. I got the newer ones here, like like the race that Ryan encountered the Avalon here.
That was
Oh, that's
really
sick.
sick. That was really
Man,
sick
two
chapter.
things
That's
that
fucking fire.
I really enjoyed when I was reading the manga is like, first of all, like how you do the separating panel thing, how you schedule the panels in the pages. That's something that I dabble a little bit in drawing as well, and that's always have been like something that for me is like it's impossible to get my head out of it. So like
Like,
when I was watching it, I was like, he's doing it very cool, and to see like your art like from the first chapter to the 14th chapter, the last one that you uploaded, like
Mhm.
I think your art has improved like gigantically. Like it's so
Yeah.
good, man. It's
thank you,
actually
bro.
funny thing that you said like about you put Berserk in your list, because I was watching the panels and I was like, in a certain way, it almost reminded me like that type of art that very dark shadows, very heavy, on those kind of things. And I really like that, man. I really, really,
That's
really
awesome.
do.
I appreciate that, man. I'm just like with the border paneling and the positioning
Yeah.
of all that, I wing it. I just go.
That's
I'm like, this.
impressive though.
I think that kind of looks
Yeah.
okay. This is kind of
No,
cool. I
'cause
kind of try and sometimes I go back to the initial D manga and I take mental notes. It's like, okay, look,
Yeah.
panels look like that. If I want to draw the racing scenes, I need to make the panels look bigger so it captures the
Yeah,
eyes
another
better.
another thing that I was thinking, like
Mm.
drawing cars is hard. Like it's for an example,
Oh
okay, you're
yeah,
doing a
it's so
manga.
hard.
It's you can kind of like cut corner with certain stuff. You have like this general formats to draw characters. You do this, you do that for backgrounds, but then
Yeah.
you have something like cars like added in that story. It adds an extra level of difficultiness, I think.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's I think that you're doing it pretty good, man. I think that you're
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, and it's
I
like
appreciate
I'd say that especially the like Animate mentioned, the storyboarding is really good. Like the
Yeah.
the order of the panels on the page, like
yeah.
it's. I will say when I started reading it, I started reading it in the manga way, which is the wrong way around.
Yeah, yeah, I
Oh,
did
yeah.
that a
I
few
was very
times and I was
confused
like,
on, the
something's
first
not
page.
quite
America, America, left to right, yeah.
But yeah, it's especially like the storyboarding is really good, and it does remind me a bit of Berserk as well, like
Thank you. That's awesome.
the whole very very dark art, but it's still like detailed. It's not like I'm trying to find a good example of something else. Something else that's really dark. The Unohana panel from Bleach. Like everything's just black in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
background. Well, obviously it works for
Yeah.
that one, but it's like there are two kinds of like dark themes. There's the
Like,
whole Berserk
heavy
where everything is
contrast.
relatively dark just because there's so much drawn on it.
I wanted to try something like that, like with one of the panels. If like a character's going through like something like whoa, I was thinking of doing like a full black, like
Mm,
I thought of I
that would
thought
be
of,
cool, man.
yeah.
Man, and I think another thing that I really really liked about the story is like you took your time like introducing the characters. Like I think the first character chapters were like just meeting the gang. You have these characters. I like how
Yeah.
like the main character has been driving for 8 months and his parents have not caught up with him taking the car like at
Yeah.
all. And he's like he doesn't even have a driving license or anything.
Mhm. That is also a thing that happened in real life. I would wake up. I would set an alarm. I would wear headphones at night, so I would set an alarm for like 3:30, and it would wake me up. I would be really fucking tired at school though, but I would wake up at 4 in the morning, like almost every day. Sometimes I would sleep through it sometimes, but um I would get up and I'd go out to my like the upstairs like area in my house, and that goes up to the third floor where my dad's at. And at this point, my mom's moved out, so I would be just standing there. I would wait. I would hear, and then I'd be like, "All right, I'm good to go." So I go back. I go back downstairs. I go downstairs. I grab my keys. I go out and I start the car. I'm like, looking out. I'm looking to the top, seeing if my dad's light turns on. I'm like, okay, we're good. And I don't think he ever knew. I don't think he ever knew. I don't think he ever knew.
Oh.
I would go
No,
out
no.
and I'd do runs.
Let's just make sure that the crime of driving without a license has already expired.
Yes. Yep. I have a license now. Yes.
Years
Yeah,
I
and
do
like-
not
years
endorse
ago.
it. I do not endorse it.
We're talking about the story, not real life. We're talking
Yeah,
about this.
exactly.
This
This
is
is
Oh,
in
no, no, no,
purely
yeah.
fictional.
Guys, many, 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 many years ago, like I'm talking like 2015-ish, I used to actually draw cars, and I
10
actually
years
just,
ago, damn.
I remember I did have a few of them. I have two here, and well, they're American cars, but this is from when I actually had to, when I drew for art, when I used to do art class and that. So
But
here's a
BD,
Mustang drifting.
aren't German cars
That's
the
pretty
only good
cool.
cars?
Nice.
No, German cars are overrated as shit.
Nice, man.
The only
That's-
good ones
But they
are classic
invented the car.
BMWs. Here's a
Kids,
Dodge Charger
if you're
as well.
watching this episode, just remember that
I
there's nothing
haven't
better than
touched-
actually drawing and not using AI
Um,
software to draw. That's
Yeah,
it's
I'd like to add this.
Yeah.
This one, this took 5 hours to draw. So
Yeah. Anime, now
Yeah,
that you mentioned that our
how
comments
long
are
did
going
it
to be
take
full
to
of
color?
AI artists, real art.
Another 3.
bro.
Oh!
I'm gonna fight each one of them. I'm gonna be like, I'm
AI
gonna be
art
like
is
in the
not
corner.
art.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
guys,
Dude,
here's
man.
another one. Here's another one. It's a Chevelle.
Ooh, okay.
It's actually pretty good, man.
Dude, the one thing,
Yeah,
the one thing
so-
my mom
yeah.
fucking is like when she speaking on the AI shit. My mom, whenever I'm telling her about all my comics going out, she's like, "Oh, you should use some AI to like make everything look smoother." I'm like, "Hell no, no!
Real,
I'd rather be
real.
crucified. What the fuck? Hell no."
Nah, man,
Oh.
it's
found,
like there's such a raw thing about like you just drawing it, and then again like I was talking about, like you see the evolution of the
S15.
art, and then it just flows into becoming like something that it's your own. That's just something for me. It can be
Yeah.
replicated, man. But something that I would like to because I'm noticing that of course you draw on paper most of the time. Do you scan your drawings and then you upload them, or like do you take photos? Or
Yeah, I
and-
take pictures.
Make
what
sure
I
the
do-
flash is on,
hold up.
bro.
Hang on.
I mean,
Hang
my-
on. I gotta take
my
off my
profile
headset.
picture is
no
actually, I
worries.
don't know if you, Animate, I don't know if you can tell, but my profile picture is actually drawn on paper.
Yeah, I know. I remember when you.
I'm still
when you were
waiting for that
commissioning
new
it,
cheese
you
banner,
sent
by
it
the
to
way.
us to-
What I used
Oh,
to, what I-
it'll
I used to
hopefully
just-
happen at some
I
point.
used to just place the page down on like a semi-lit area, and then make sure that my shadow
Yeah.
was over it, and making sure
Mhm.
that like there were no like shadow into light on the page.
Yeah.
And then I would tape it down onto the floor. I'd go right above it, and I would take a picture and then edit it, make the lines darker,
Yeah.
make the white whiter. But recently I've run out of tape, so I just put these onto the corners of the page. I just set them down like that, and I just yeah, and they're
Hey,
just
whatever works, man. Whatever
yeah.
works.
Shit,
Hey, it
real.
lines it out. It looks good.
Holy shit,
Man,
guys!
but-
I found some more drawings from years and years ago. Here's one from 20.
Oh,
Do you
no.
want to see one from 2013?
Let's see, man.
Speedy,
This
we-
is-
we
this-
can't
this
see
is from
anything horrific.
2013. If you can see it.
It doesn't
somewhat
really come
okay.
through on your
I think
camera.
you're going to
Contrast
send
isn't
us a
there.
photo.
Okay, wait. Let me turn the camera around then, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, let me turn the light as well. real quick.
Anya.
Because I found some really old ones, because I actually keep these, surprisingly.
Anya peanuts got ski.
Does that come out well?
Oh,
Yeah, that shows up so much better on that cam.
So
yeah.
much better, man. So much better.
Nice, dude.
This was me trying to make my own car brand, because I was delusional like that.
You can't see
Also,
that.
how do you
I
mean
found-
word?
you
I
just
don't
have
have
to
any old
believe.
ones.
I'm delusional shit. I also found another Dodge Charger drawing as well, because the Dodge
Damn,
Charger is the
everyone's
greatest car that's
whipping
ever
out
been
their
made.
Old art.
I think I've
And-
turned
And then,
all my
and then
own
finally, a
drawings.
Buick
one
Regal.
more thing, since we are on the topic of art. Would you ever try to like? Are you like one of these people that like only draw on like paper, or are you open to try digital and stuff like that?
I would like to try digital, but I love the feel of paper because like doing it on a pad or a screen, the pad's
Oh,
the
it-
worst. I tried doing pad,
is.
and I can't get the freaking
Something that I
that stuff
recommend you. They sell like this like kind of
The
like
paper screen
plastic thing.
protectors?
Exactly. That thing is pretty good. That's that I've
Yeah.
been struggling to transitioning from like traditional art to digital art, and like since I've got that one, it has been like a game changer. So
Yeah,
I
my
recommend
girlfriend
you
has
to
the.
get
I did want to try it
same
because I
issue as well.
really do think that my problem is the feel because I don't like the smoothness of the screen or anything like that. So if I
Yeah,
have to
it's,
rough stuff like that,
if
I
it
feel like
feels like
Paper.
paper, it draws easier.
Yeah.
Especially like if you have like really good paper to draw on, like I haven't drawn for years, but I used to draw quite a lot when I was younger, and it's like really good paper. It just has a very different kind of.
Who's
feeling,
up for
like,
Who's up for sending Ghost some actual manga paper?
As long as it's
Okay.
coming out of
I
your
should-
wallet,
I
bro.
know, I
You're
would-
paying for shipping, bro.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
just
shipping
log
from
into
Europe.
Amazon America and you can do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you
Oh
go.
fuck. No, but there's like Cheese was saying, like drawing on very good paper is game changer. it's a game changer.
Yeah, it is really like it's just something you just never think about, but when you actually have a good paper, it's such a different experience.
Another thing that I changed without like, because I there were some things that I didn't really think about, and then when I changed it, it looked so much better. The borders, like the panel bordering, I used to just use the scratchy, like I used to just make them really thick and scratchy with pencil and just try and make it look like a border. But then my girlfriend recommended just using like something straight and just getting
Yeah, yeah.
marker down. And I was like, I don't know, I kind of like the look of like the homemade freaking borders of me scratching in. And she was like, nah, trust, you got to use the marker. And I'm like, okay. And then I tried it, and it looked so much better, dude. I had no idea. That's just an example of me just trying something out, even though I don't think I might like it. Freaking, it went crazy.
Yeah,
And that's kind of that's very cool, man. That's I
but it's
think
like
that. Oh, sorry.
I don't have good paper at hand, but I have like fairly decent paper. My very nerdy fucking D&D handbook. Like this is actual art paper. I don't know if it probably doesn't come through on camera, especially not with a fucking light that bright. But it's like a fully textured art paper. It probably
Ooh,
it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
really come through on
Ooh.
camera.
Uh.
My really
That's cool, man.
nerdy Dungeons and Dragons DMing leather backed fucking nerd book. But it has a very nice brass clasp on it.
And as of right now, like there's only 14 chapters of Streak, right?
Mhm.
Are you already working on the next chapter? Like, how does it work? Do you have like a schedule? Like, are you planning on, let's say, upload once a month, or is it more something like, oh, when I want, when I have time?
It's usually like I have the discipline to say like, oh, I gotta work on this, but usually,
Mhm.
I want to get 4 pages out every week at least. Um,
Okay.
and with the chapters, originally I was trying to get it like originally every month, but it's looking like 2 months now because of the
Okay.
stuff with work. I'm working on my car at the same time too, because I'm
Mhm.
building up my E36. Um, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's
plus
just
writing the story and everything else.
yeah, and well, I got the whole thing laid out. I don't even need
Oh,
to
you're
write.
Bro, it
okay.
is a real
You
I don't
life,
even
already
need
have
to
the
man.
whole
write now. That's
thing.
like, all right, I got to work on this part, and
Oh.
then after I'm done with this part, I got to get to this part. This is gonna be awesome. It's literally just putting my brain onto the paper. It's so great when you have the story already made up. That's why I thought it would be easy to do this because it happened. Some of it happened in real life. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I just got to recall some memories. It's great. And
Yeah.
some as the manga trails on and it gets further and further away from 2021, sometimes I have trouble remembering like what was going on back then. So yeah,
But
that's
all
fun.
I want to say is that I'm curious to find out who is like that mysterious driver. Like,
No
I was just
spoilers, bro.
no
Oh,
spoilers, but
No
spoilers.
just saying,
spoilers. It is
just saying that
that reveal
that
is coming.
cliffhanging. I was
Yeah,
like,
it was such a cliffhanger
okay.
to end on,
I may
wasn't
have a
it?
hint at who it is, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, that's why I like to do like that's what I was trying to do. Like you have a feeling that it might be this person, but then you're like, but wait,
Okay,
it's
I'm gonna
because
tell
of
you
this.
who
It
I
might
think it
contradict.
is, but
I don't want to
you don't have
hear.
to confirm or anything.
Yeah.
That's just my
Okay.
theory. Okay,
Okay.
I think that maybe is like that girl that he has a crush on. Maybe she could be like the driver. Like she's been driving secretly as well. Maybe that's something that she hasn't told anybody. So I don't know. Maybe that's just
Okay.
my thing because when he sees the car like the second time, he's at his friend's house. So it's probably someone who's closer to them, I believe. But I don't know. Don't
Okay.
say anything, man.
All right. All right.
That's just what my gut
That's
feelings
that's a
tell me.
that's a fun. That's this is
That's
that.
exactly from Initial D. He came to New England.
That's
Yeah.
that's awesome how you guys have like theories about it. I didn't know if anyone would like come up with any speculation. It's so cool. It's so cool.
When
I just
I think
started out with just drawing little car doodles in high school. It was just like I had no idea.
I think that comes back to the whole thing that we were talking at the beginning of the podcast about like when you have like a good way to lay a story, like it just goes, it just flows. Like it
Mhm.
makes people
Yeah.
interested in wanting to know more about it. So and that's something that I believe that Streak has. So I
It's
can't
awesome.
wait to figure out what's happening, man. What's happening in that story.
Ghost.
I have
When we having Lightning McQueen and Streak.
Oh god.
I could probably put it in
Intellectual
somewhere.
property speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And
could you
copyrighted.
imagine? Could you imagine in 50 chapters? Oh my God, we're never gonna reach that location in time. No, we need to be very
Vin
fast,
Diesel
fast
pulls
as
out.
lightning, and then catch out. You see, lightning McQueen coming
Ka-chow.
in.
Absolute
A new,
cinema.
a new guy, a new
Absolute
guy comes to
cinema.
town in a 2013 Dodge Dart, and he pulls up next to Ryan Swain. He's like, "What do you know about family?" Rolls down the window. It's Vin
God.
Diesel.
I'm
Oh
probably gonna make
god.
some references in there to like Fast and Furious or something. It's gonna
That
be
would be so funny.
yeah.
As long as you don't do the god awful tank scenes from Fast and Furious.
I've only watched
Yeah.
I've only watched 3 Fast and Furious movies. The first two and then
Aw.
I think
then
you should get to Fast and Furious 5, and then that's it. You don't watch any
Okay.
more.
After 7, it falls off hard, bro.
Alright,
Oh,
alright,
boy.
word.
I mean that
Well,
is
man.
true with every movie. Like if you go too far, it just usually trails off to shite.
Oh,
Man,
jeez.
with all of the guests
Jeez,
that
look
come
at
to the
this.
podcast, after a while, like usually we have YouTubers or streamers or VTubers,
Speedy, why
and
do you have that?
something that like we kind of comment on is that like what is in future for their career on YouTube or streaming or whatever. What would you say, like how would you say, like what would you say is like a good goal for you, like for the next year, like maybe like keep writing the story, maybe getting in more attention or whatever, like what's the future of Streak for you?
Um, I want to get like a flow going similar to Initial D. Like you know what's gonna happen, but you wonder how it's gonna like happen. And
Okay.
I also that's just it for the story. Like obviously I want to try and see how digital feels, um, but also I just want to get it out there more. Like so far, I've just only advertised on Instagram and TikTok and all that. But I know that there's webtoon like contests that you can submit your work to,
Yeah.
and maybe like I don't know, maybe
Who
get some
knows,
more
man?
attention
Who
there.
knows? Another
Oh, yeah, TikTok is the way I.
Also
TikTok is
Twitter.
the way
A
I
lot of
found
people
out
just
about
upload
manga.
Yeah.
like manga just
Yeah.
And especially in nowadays, man, like with so many webtoons or like manhwa and stuff like that, like gaining very like a lot of attention compared to like the last maybe 10 years or whatever. Like you never know, like you could literally be writing
Yeah.
something that can become the next Initial D.
That's what I'm saying. And another thing I think about all the
Submit to
time is like
Netflix.
I think about how interesting it might be to people, and I'm thinking like, okay, it makes it like with what Speedy said in his video on Streak, like nobody starts out with their dream car. Like they always start out with
Yeah.
shitters, but they want to race, they want to do things that they see on TV and on shows and all that, but they just have this Ford Focus or this Nissan Sentra, and they still go out and do it, and sometimes they get ridiculed for it, like, "Oh, it's just a Corolla, bro. It's just a fucking Corolla." And I want to encapsulate how toxic the car community is in
Oh
this
boy.
thing, and how
Okay,
people are
that's
overcoming
very
that, and
interesting.
how people can overcome that and just have a connection with the car that they have. It doesn't really matter if it's their dream car or not. And another thing, the main overarching like emotional story to it is um with my belief, I think that your first car stays with you no matter what. No matter what car you get, if you switch like from like an American car to a Japanese car, that American car, that soul transfers over to that next one, because technically the driver is the car is
Is
the
the car.
embodiment of the driver. Yeah. So when like I'll make a at the end, I'll make a point when Aiden transfers over from his car to the next. It'll be like it'll be kind of like trying to figure
Going
out like,
very
okay, well, I
dark.
have this predetermined notion where like the cars are different, but then I realize the soul stays there. The soul is still
Yeah.
there. It's still the same car. It's still the Avalon, and it's just it's sick. Because like I treat my E36 the same way. Like I still view that, like I named my first car Ava, and because the Ava Avalon sort of thing, and with the E36 I still call her Ava, because in spirit it's still the Avalon to me, even though it might
Nice.
be
That's
lighter, it might be
actually very
rear
cool,
wheel
man.
drive.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's just like just if you end up getting rid of your first car and you're sad to get rid of it, I just want to get that out there, that it's like, hey, it's still there, man. It's still following along. You're still together. You're always together.
Nice.
I
That's
kind of agree, man. I kind of agree. Like not with cars, because unfortunately I do not drive. But I have kind of like the same feeling with guitars. You know, like the
yeah.
first
I did
guitar.
hear
You
about
know,
that. Yeah, I did hear someone
that,
say something
that's
about that.
that's kind of like you can get like as many guitars as you want. You know, but that first guitar, you know, it has like that emotional thing. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Even though
but
my first guitar
Yeah.
is literally like in
I've
pieces,
lost my
broken,
first
doesn't
guitar,
work,
so
but it's still like in my garage, like there, and I don't want to get rid of that.
all right. Yeah,
yeah.
one of the
I,
characters that are
I
coming
lost
up
my
in
first
Streak
one.
plays the guitar, so.
Ooh, nice, nice,
Ooh.
nice. Now, now something that I think we should have asked that at in the beginning, but how did you ended up meeting like Speedy? Because for an example, like he was making a video about Strict. Did he contact you and was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing a video about your webtoon. Would you be down for that?" Or was it something that you just saw the video and was like, "Oh wait, someone is talking about my manga,
No,
like my webtoon"?
he commented on my TikTok ad for Streak. He
Nice.
read it and he was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
I want to do a video on this." I was like, "Hell yeah, that's fucking fire! I've never had anyone do this to me or
You
for
know
me."
what's the funny thing is
Speedy is
about
our
that
PR
video is
person.
Yeah.
It was so
For
cool.
real.
yeah.
So
He's-
cool.
The funny
It was
thing
so
is
cool.
about the streak video is I had a really no pun intended. I had a streak of some very bad low performing videos, but then once the streak video came out, it just went like that to 800, 900 views, and then the
Pretty,
video after
pretty
that
Oh,
Speedy's
got
let's
channel
fucking
is,
thousands.
go! Let's
really
fucking
good.
go! That's awesome.
So yeah,
Okay.
streak is good.
Fuck
And
Speedy.
dude,
Streak
when
good.
you made the joke about the name, the streak, and how it reminds you of
Yeah.
shit stain, dude, I literally had people saying that to me when I started writing it back in 2021. It's like
Really?
streak. That sounds like a fucking shit stain.
I was
So
opening
I was like,
Speedy's
no
channel.
way, you made the reference.
I was opening Speedy's channel to go and see how many views the Streak video did, and the first thing the best yaoi hentai, the Mesudachi hentai. Fucking hell, Speedy, your channel is
Well,
cursed.
I know my
I'm,
channel is cursed. That's why I like it so much.
But to be fair, man, I'm glad that Speedy did the video on your manga. It showed like that, you know, you never know what's gonna make it good, you know, and then you never know when
Yeah.
you're gonna find like something
Right.
that you might enjoy and you don't even know.
Mm.
So it's
And even if it doesn't take off, it's I'm still gonna do it. Like I still want to
exactly
finish it.
Yeah.
exactly.
That way, it's just a passion thing because I really feel passionate about like how the 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 car you get is the car you drive and you go crazy. That is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, like
That is what it is.
that is, I totally get that because obviously, like, we all do YouTube as a passion project and a hobby, and it's like, even if it doesn't do well, I'm still gonna keep doing it.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because you like
Yeah.
doing it. It's awesome. I don't
It's
even
like,
mind if I don't get paid. That's why I work at a dealership as like a main work thing. That way I still have money. But if I
Yeah.
can make
Yeah.
money off the streak, then fucking awesome. But if I don't, it is what it is. I'm still gonna do it. I'm still
Yeah.
gonna keep doing
It's
it. It's
like
awesome.
Man, would you
my,
ever
my
think about I don't know, maybe starting a YouTube channel to try to spread the story of Streak a little bit more, or
Streak
Possibly.
dubbed. Streak
imagine that?
Yo.
Possibly.
If-
I
But-
do
if
have.
you ever-
I do
All
have
I'm
a
gonna
YouTube
say is that I am. If you need some voice lines, just hit me up.
I'm your boy.
Oh, God,
I am an
anime.
occasional voice
Yeah.
actor, so if you.
Alright. Alright.
No,
you,
worries, I'm
you should
kidding.
first know what you're getting into with anime. It's voice acting. That
For real,
was Speedy
yeah.
video.
I do have a YouTube channel. I do like I don't usually talk about like my comic on it, but I do like Assetto Corsa stuff on there sometimes. Sometimes like initial D AMVs if I'm really feeling a song in that week or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just do little things here and there. I did a
Lovely.
Speed Racer AMV that I'm proud of because I got the beat drops on that, like the syncing with the video, so good. Yeah,
It's nice
Those
when you manage
AMVs
to
that
do
just
that.
hit
so
hard.
good. It was so good.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. Do you guys have any other questions that you would like to add to this, or
I did have some questions. I just got to look through them in my Google Docs. Let me see
Oh,
if they
One
really
question I
ask these
did have is
questions.
like,
Oh, yeah,
how
we
long
did
do you
ask
think
them.
Streak's gonna be? Like,
Ooh, actually, yeah, that's a really good question.
I'm thinking since okay, I think there's going to be at least like 10 volumes in each chapter, and I think if we're going to give a rough estimate, I'm thinking around maybe 15, 20 chapters, maybe because
Okay.
the story spans just like in real time only like 4 months. So
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
a
Oh,
quick it's takes place in the fall and winter, like end of summer,
Yeah.
fall and winter.
Will we
So I-
get
I
I
like
mean, to put that,
the
to
battle
put that into
stage?
perspective, all of One Piece's post time skip takes place in like 2.5
2
months,
weeks,
and that's
right? Or 2 months. 2 months.
it's a bit over 2 months now, and it's like 600 manga chapters.
Yeah, I think
Damn.
the shorter time span really encapsulates the like as soon as Aiden gets his license, shit goes nuts. It just like it starts
okay.
off really boring and then everything gets really fast paced right when he gets his license. It's like, whoa, okay, this is fire.
It's almost like he's literally like catapulted into the action.
Right. That's it's that which was basically what happened because I as soon as I got my license, I started going through crazy shit. It was so weird. Yeah.
Do you
That's
have
why I
like
was
any
like,
other
"Dude,
plans?
this has got to be a manga."
Once Streak is done, do you have other plans to like write something else?
Ooh, yeah.
Possibly. I was thinking of maybe starting like an original story, like like original characters, not like me and my high school buddies, nothing like that. Um, maybe maybe trying my hand at something that isn't cars. I don't know. But
I
right
have a
now,
brilliant idea.
this is my first
Girls
ever
on
manga that
Panzer,
I've
Girls
ever
on
done.
Panzer is very popular.
Tanks,
Guys,
tanks, tanks.
Greek battle stage.
Battles. Oh.
Okay.
Hmm. That would,
Yeah,
dude,
actually,
Just pure
hear me out.
racing.
Hear me out. Hear me out on this one. I think that's $1 million idea. Here, hear me out.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
A guy with like Speedy. Tell me like a very good racing car. Come on.
The Ford
Now.
GT40.
Exactly. A guy with that car gets isekai'd into another world, but he gets
Oh, God.
isekai'd with his car. Okay.
Get the car.
and and basically he has to do the whole thing of defeating the demon king, saving the
With
place,
his
whatever,
car.
but
Oh,
in
this
his car. And his car like like gains magical powers and stuff like that.
And then it just ends up being so stupid. It's like the demon kid's
Exactly.
like, I could crush
Another
you
one like
with my
GT40.
finger, but I'm gonna race you down this mountain.
or
That's
like
that's what
you
we'll
have the
decide.
demon king like has captured like the romantic interest, and then he's like, nobody can stop me now, and then you just hear
There is an
The
isekai
European
light
flag
novel.
together.
The shit where he's racing a guy, and then his teammate comes out 7,000 plus, go like hell, drop shift, go into another dimension.
oh my
Yo.
god.
There is a light novel where somebody gets isekai with a camper van, apparently.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that killed it.
That's cool.
That's
Shibaki Shino
where we're
camping
getting
car.
with isekai. Now everyone needs to have like that different thing,
There is the whole
Yeah.
fucking thing of the guy who gets reincarnated as a vending machine. You can't do
Yeah.
anything more stupid than that, regardless of what you do.
What the fuck?
Yep.
How that
Oh.
works.
But yeah, man, that's
I love that.
there's definitely a lot of stories to be told, and I cannot wait to read more about Streak. Hopefully,
Watching
who
Streak,
knows?
that's the dream.
What-
That's
what
the
else?
dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch
Maybe
Streak
we're
the
gonna
anime.
Streak anime in 2035. Who knows? You never know.
The next day, Streak anime review by me.
Okay.
Hey,
I'll be
Actually-
on that shit.
You know what it would be cool? Like, let's say after the story progresses a little bit more, it would be cool to have you back in the podcast and like talk about like
Oh, yeah.
how it developed,
things have
the whole
changed.
thing. Yeah,
yeah, that would be cool.
Yes.
I'd be down to come back.
Oh, he can have us judge our drawing competition.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
true,
we had an idea of doing a drawing competition as a thing because
That's
I used to
fire,
draw
yeah,
anime
dude.
draws, and Speedy
Yeah.
used to draw, so it would be fun to like see if we can still draw anything. I was basically for the podcast that I was inspired by the whole PewDiePie I drew for X amount of I can't remember how long he drew for, but yeah.
You know what would be funny? We get Northern, we get Bunko, we get Rage, and we
Ooh.
get RC. All the guests, we make them be the
Just
judges.
judges.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay.
Oh god.
Hey, one day we get an episode IRL where we're all in a pub together. That'll be fun.
That's
yeah,
fire.
that's like the
that requires flight tickets, Speedy. Shit's expensive, yo.
Squad, by the way,
Speedy's
just so you
paying,
guys
guys.
know,
Why do you
I'm
think he's
going-
been
guys,
working
I'm
this
I'm
whole
going to
time?
Japan in 2026. Okay, so
Ooh.
if any of you guys
What?
are planning to go, time to organize.
Unfortunately, not right now. I am planning on going to Venice though at some point.
Ooh, if you come to Italy, man, let me know. Let me know. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make you
I'm planning to go-
make you eat the good stuff. The good stuff.
And potentially,
The-
depending on what happens, in July I could be going to Japan as well with Rage.
Ooh. Yeah, my
Ooh,
my
July,
my
this
partner
July.
wanted to go visit Venice
Yeah,
at some point. I might be
potentially.
flying to Italy.
But let me know
Italia.
if depending on when you guys come, I can come there. Like maybe even like
Ooh.
show you some places and stuff like that. Because
I'm-
my
I'm
dad
there for
he's
that.
been to Venice like a lot of times, like for work. So
Okay, that's
he
cool.
knows like all the good places to eat. So
Yeah.
I want pizza. That's all I need. I'm there for pizza and spaghetti and lasagna.
Man goes to Italy,
garlic
only
bread.
eats pizza, New York style.
Pizza and
Yeah.
pasta.
but yeah, man. It was very good to have you on this podcast, North. I really hope that Streak becomes a very big and famous webtoon, and maybe when you get famous, just remember about this humble
Don't forget
podcast.
me.
Remember about us.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna call you guys out. Ah!
Yeah,
Awesome.
put us
Thank
in
you guys for
streak.
having me. Thank you guys for having me so much. This is awesome.
Thank you for being a part of this podcast.
All right then. Thank you so much for coming on this episode. And
Yep. It was
yeah,
great having you.
if anybody out there wants to see anybody else on this episode, on this for
This
godforsaken
episode.
podcast, please leave their channel name in the
Yeah,
description.
maybe
And
if you are a
enjoyed this
webtoon
episode-
artist that want to have your work, like you want to come to talk about your work, just hit us up. Like we are
Get it
open.
out.
If you are like a
Yeah.
webtoon artist, YouTuber, a musician, even whatever. If you want to talk about your stuff, just come on this podcast.
Yeah.
And we,
And
We'll
to
give
the
check
you
out
rest
your
of you
Silver
go,
Soul GT.
yeah, too. Check Silver
to
Soul
the rest of you go check
Hey,
out
let's
Streak.
make,
We will.
let's make the intro for Streak.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We're,
Fire.
we're going to link Streak down in the video description.
Yeah.
Obviously, you will also find all of our channels there. Northern will probably link all of your socials that are relevant there as well if people are interested. So obviously, you could go and check that out down in the description below us,
Fire.
and all the YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to our channels.
Subscribe to the podcast.
I need to
Please.
beat
What? Read
Speedy
Streak,
in more
please.
sub numbers.
Read Streak. Subscribe to Generic Anime Podcast.
Yeah.
If you've come this far listening this podcast, comment pineapple, and we'll know
Oh, yeah.
that you're a
Yeah.
real one. Okay.
Yeah. Real.
We have weirdly good viewer retention on
Yeah,
these
for
videos.
real. Recently, it's been going
Funny
pretty
how
good.
It's
so
been like
who knows?
60%, which is absolutely insane.
Hell yeah. That's freaking awesome.
But yes,
fun.
before Speedy is late from work, I think it's time for
Yeah.
us to end. So
Yeah.
thanks
don't worry,
again
I still
for-
got 20 minutes
for
till I have to
he-
go, so it's fine.
Oh, okay. Thanks
I
again
got some
for
time.
let's just do the outro so then we can just.
yeah,
Shit talk.
Thanks
shit.
again for
Yeah.
being here for another episode of the Generic Anime Podcast. Thanks again, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye. Remember Queen Wave. We have to Queen Wave.
Queen Wave,
like
being,
that.
being,
That's kind of like
being
our.
European.